Hello, my dear students and the rest of the learners. Welcome to part 27 of a 7-part series of tutorials in computer structured programming in C and Pascal. This is section 6 of 13 in the topic data structures. My name is MemJM, or you can simply call me EMELISWAP. In this tutorial, I'm going to look at searching techniques, where I'll look at sequential or linear search, binary search. So those are the two sorting techniques that I am going to discuss: the sequential or linear search and binary search. So what are search techniques? Searching is the process of checking if a specified element is present in the array and determining the location of the desired element. The main searching techniques are sequential and binary. Then we also have what we call the merge searching technique. Let's look at sequential or linear search. This is a method of finding a value by comparing each element of the array with a search key or a value. So this is a method of finding a particular value in a list that consists of checking every one of its elements, one at a time and in sequence, until the desired one is found or missed. The searching is carried out from the first element until the element is found, or an element whose value is greater than the value being searched is reached, or the end of the array is reached. So the searching can be carried out on a sorted or unsorted array. Linear search is the simplest search algorithm, even though it's inefficient when the number of elements is large. Its main disadvantage is that if a list has several elements and the element being searched for is not present, all the elements have to be checked in vain. The following is a sample C program implementing this search technique. So we have our preprocessor directive studio.h. Then we have our constant being defined and holding value 4. We have our first function prototype. The function is called linear search. It has two parameters. One parameter is an array of type integer, and the other one is mark of type int. The second prototype is display results. So that's a function prototype for displaying results, and it has one parameter called location of type integer. Then we have a definition of, we have one other function called input mark, which is supposed to return a value of type integer, but it is not receiving any parameter. Then we move to our main function, int main, where we declare an array called scores whose size is 4, and we initialize it with 4 elements in the order of 70, 20, 45, and 1. Then we declare 2 memory locations, one called mark, the other one called location of type integer. We then invoke the function called input mark, and the value that it returns is assigned in memory location called mark. Then we have another statement, call statement, for the function called linear search, which we are passing into it 2 parameters, one being an array of size 4, and the other one being the content of memory location called mark. The value that linear search is going to return is, which is of type integer, is stored in memory location called location. And then we invoke another function called display results, and we pass into it one value. That is the content of memory location called location. And then once all those functions have been invoked and executed, we return back the control to the operating system and we end the program. So where are our functions? We find that we have already prototyped. The first one is linear search that returns index if mark is found or -1 if it is not found. So this function, just as I've said, it has two parameters. One is of type int, and it's an array. The other one is called mark of type integer. And this function has one local variable called I, which is the counter. So we use for loop with the search. So we initialize I with 0. Then we check whether the current memory location, content of current memory location called I is less than 4, that is size. If yes, we do the following, which we compare. If the content of memory location called mark is equal to the content of memory location called scores I. If that is true, we return the current value of the memory location called I. So in this case, we return -1 if we don't find the element that we are looking for. So this for loop will continue until the value is found. If the value is found, we return that value. If it is not found, we return -1. So that's how that function will work. That is the linear search. So we then move to the function called input mark. So we have a local variable called value. So we display the message, enter the score you are searching for. Within the value entered, and that value is stored in memory location called value. And of course, that content is supposed to be of type integer. We then return the value. So we return the value that we have already set. We return it to the caller main function. Then this function is for displaying the result. It is supposed to receive one parameter called location. It is performing the following. The content of memory location called location is found or is checked to see whether it is greater than -1. So if the content memory location called location is greater than -1, we display the following. The score was found at index location. Pick the location, we display it on the screen following the statement. So if it was found in position 2, it will say the score was found at index location 2 and move one line below. Otherwise, if it's not found, display the message, the score was not found in the list. So that's the work of that function. So the following is sample Pascal program implementing this search technique. So our program is called linear search. This program uses array search values. This is for performing the functions that will manipulate the screen, like clearing the screen. We declare also the 4 variables. One is lm, I, j, and temp, integer. Then we declare an array called num, which is supposed to hold 10 elements, 0 to 10 of type. Then we declare another variable called found, which is of type here. And then we begin to clear the screen. We input values in the array. The message enter 10 numbers is displayed, and then we use the for loop to control the elements. We initialize I with 1 to 10, 2. So is the value of I less than 10? Yes, because current value is 1. So within the first value, store it in the memory location called num1. We increment that counter. So the for loop will continue. We increment it to 2. Within the next value, we store it in memory location called num2. We increment it again to 1 as we check whether it is equal to 10 or greater than 10. So this will continue. This for loop will continue until the value of I is equal to 10. And then we exit that loop. So next is to search for our element. Enter the element in the search before. So we need the value and we store it in memory location called element. So we initialize the memory location called I with 1. And also we initialize the content of memory location called default with the false. We then check while not default and I is less than or equal to 10, do. So as long as the value is not default, so we do the following. For as long as this condition is met. So as long as this condition is correct, we do the following. We pick the content of memory location called LM. We assign it in the content of memory location called I. So if I was 1, we assign that value, the array at subscript 1, that is num1. Then we initialize or we store through the memory location called default, and we increment the current content of memory location called I with 1, and we store the results in memory location called I. So that will continue. That will continue until that condition is no longer met. And then we exit that while loop. Now, if found, and remember, already we are false. So if not found, that means if found, then right line, the element was found at position, pick the current content of memory location called I, subtract 1 from it. Whatever you get, format it spaces of 1 and display. Otherwise, if nothing is found, write out element not found in the list. And then pause a little bit, let the user see the results. And then we end the linear search. Let's now move on to binary search. This algorithm is used to search for an element in a sorted list. The search works by comparing an input value to the middle element of the array. The comparison determines whether the element equals the input, less than the input, or greater than the input. When the element being compared equals the input, the search stops and typically returns the position of the element. If the element is not equal to the input, then a comparison is made to determine whether the input is less than, or greater than the element. Depending on which side it is, the algorithm then starts all over, but only searching the top or bottom subset of the array's elements. If the input is not located within the array, the algorithm will usually output a unique value indicating this, or the programmer can code a message for the same. Binary search algorithms typically have the number of items to check with each successive iteration, thus locating a given item or determining its absence in logarithmic time. Binary search is a dichotomic divide and conquer search algorithm. Binary search is a dichotomic divide and conquer search algorithm. Binary searching has a greater runtime efficiency than linear search. So its main advantage is that the search time can be reduced to a great extent as compared with search. Its disadvantage is that if an element is modified, the array must be sorted so that the binary search will work properly. The following is a sample function in C implementing binary search. So that's our comment. Binary search returns index if found or -1 if not found. This function is called binary search, and it is supposed to return value of type integer. It has two parameters. One is an array parameter underscore integer, and the other one is called mark of type. It has three local variables of type integer, which are left, right, and points. From there, we initialize left with 0. We initialize right with size -1. Then we check if this condition is correct. So when the content of memory location recorded left is less than or equals the content of memory location recorded right, do the following. Pick what is the memory location record left and right, divided by 2. In other words, pick that content, the result of left plus right divided by 2, and store that result in the memory location record midpoint. My dear students and the rest of the learners, kindly note how we are assigning the value midpoint. Then we compare what is in mark to what is in scores midpoint. So if the content of memory location record mark is equals to the content of memory location record scores midpoint, then return the content of memory location record midpoint. Otherwise, if the content of memory location record mark is greater than the content of memory location record scores midpoint, then pick what is in the memory location record midpoint, add 1 to 8, and then store the results in the memory location record left. Otherwise, pick what is memory location record midpoint, subtract 1 from 8, and store the results in the memory location record right. So continue with that, continue with the while until when this condition is not correct or is not met. Then you terminate the loop. So if the content of memory location record left, or if this equation or if this condition is not met from the start, if this condition is not met from the start, then this function is going to return -1. It's going to return -1. And that function. And with that, my dear students and the rest of the learners, we have come to the end of section 6. Proceed to section 7 of that in this topic so that you can learn more about other data structures. Congratulations for learning section 6 of that in the topic data structures. You can also access section 1 to that of this topic, other topics in the computer structured programming unit, as well as other computer or ICT videos by clicking or tapping on EMELISWAP ICT YouTube channel below this video. You can also visit EMELISWAP Life Skills YouTube channel for free life skills, motivational, and inspirational resources. To subscribe to the channel, tap on subscribe button below this video in YouTube if it's not currently reading as subscribed. For any further correspondence, kindly write it to us through the email emeliswap@gmail.com. Thank you very much for listening to me, and God bless.